I'm Angeline. I'm starting my trek out into the Devil's Playground of Petrified Forest National Park. They make you start your hike in the heat of the day because they want you to be in the wilderness by the time the park closes. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm wearing soaking wet bandana around my neck and a soaking wet shirt, and it feels lovely. I'm going out to the Devil's Playground because they only issue 3 permits a week for people to go into that part of the wilderness, and so that must mean there's something really fantastic to see out there, and I'm pretty excited. So, onward! Ah yes, I'm starting to see the appeal. And it's morning, and I thought before I pack up camp and go explore the rest of Devil's Playground, I would take a little video of the campsite I chose last night. I chose to be up on a high butte so that I could see the sky at night and watch the sunrise. I love to watch the desert sunrise, and if I'd been lower, it would have been hidden from me more. So I thought I would just kind of show you around the top of this butte, which is just when I came up here last night on the chance, hoping, that maybe it would be flat, I was hyperventilating. I couldn't believe it because, I'm down on the desert floor in the washes with all those beautiful rocks. But this was such a beautiful place to sleep. And I decided to take this little video before I finished packing up so that you can see the scale with, my junk over there. I don't use a tent, when there's zero forecast of rain, because why? Sometimes a few ants like to become friendly with me and cuddle in the night, but I shake my shoes out in the morning. That's about it. There's not really much to fear from the desert. Not much is going to happen to you out here in the middle of the night, except maybe cold, but I've got a good sleeping bag. Look at that. What a place to wake up to. Hi. ranger station told me that this place was named Devil's Playground by the geologists. And I gotta tell you something. Look, I love men. I'm raising boys. Men are wonderful. But would bet you my last dime that this place was named Devil's Playground by a man. Because men seem to love to come up with the most aggressive names for places. If I was gonna name this place, I would call it the Stone Cloud Wilderness. Because all of these big heavy stones are floating on this delicate little beds of sand. I think this is sort of an interesting little side note. Notice how tall the grasses are here. In portions of the park, there's open range cattle grazing, and in this part of the wilderness, there's not. So the grasses have been allowed to return to something resembling how they would have been during hunter-gatherer times, and the hunter-gatherers ate the wild grasses. So, of course, the climate is much, much drier now, so the density of plants isn't as great, but you can kind of get an idea of something like what the landscape would have looked like when you go into the wilderness portion where cattle grazing isn't allowed. This is an example of why this wilderness is so fragile, because see all of these tiny little petrified wood pebbles? Each one is a teeny tiny little hoodoo, just like the big ones next to it. And every step you take, you could destroy these little marbles that are resting on table salt. It's so precious. It's so fragile. This is a surprise, a little bit of pottery. You can see scoring on the inside. I think this is when you use a piece of broken pottery like this to smooth the inside of a pot. It leaves these scoring marks. Seeing that pottery made me get a little bit excited, so I decided to climb up onto this sandy butte and see what's going on. I didn't see anything of note that, you know, that's left or visible up on the butte, on the mesa, but at the edge there's this cabin. Well, it's a pueblo, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna go down there. I'm not sure it's prehistoric, but it's a little stone pueblo for sure. Yeah, this is definitely a little rancher's cabin. I mean, the reason I say this is because huge doorways, windows. This is modern stuff. Wow. Nice fireplace. Maybe some ceiling beams. Little tumbled down front room. And then to cross Lithidendron Wash to get back to my car. It's on the other side of the wash. This Lithidendron Wash is no joke. It actually reminds me of parts of the Colorado River. Is it Lee's Ferry, where the water is pretty shallow and runs fast in a slurry over a really wide space of desert. This is a really long wash. It runs across this whole region, and it's just as wide everywhere. Deeper into other parts of this park, Petrified Forest and Peanut Desert National Park, the ground in the wash is different. Like it's sandier, redder, rockier, but it's always this wide. It's just huge. And it makes me really want to be out here in the rain and just watch it go. You know, it's really powerful to watch the land swirl in the desert. Everything just changes. There's waterfalls everywhere. And this is just be a riot of water, I'm sure. Well, here I am, pretty much back where I started. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. And when it's this hot out, may I offer to you, may the wind truly always, 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 in a life-saving, cooling, air conditioning kind of way, always be at your back.